Hello everyone, welcome to Storytime with a Princess. Today we're going to be reading from 5-Minute Frozen Stories. And the story we're going to be reading is Frozen. The kingdom of Arendelle was a happy place. The king and queen had 2 young daughters, Anna and Elsa. That one's me. The girls were their pride and joy, but the family had a secret. I could create ice and snow with my hands. One night, Anna convinced me to turn the ballroom into a winter wonderland. As we happily played together, I accidentally lost control of my magic. An icy blast hit Anna in the head, and she fell to the floor. The king and queen rushed the girls to the trolls, mysterious healers who knew about magic. A wise troll named Grandpappy saved Anna by removing her memories of my magic. He explained that she was lucky to have been hit in the head and not the heart. The troll told the king and queen that my powers would only grow. Fear will be my enemy, is what he told me. The king and queen knew that they had to protect me. To keep my magic a secret, they closed the kingdom gates. The king and queen gave me some gloves to contain my powers, but I was still afraid I might hurt someone. I even avoided Anna to protect her. Then, when we were teenagers, our parents were lost at sea. We had never felt more alone. I stayed inside where I could hide my magic, but I couldn't keep the castle gates closed forever. On the day of my coronation, my subjects were invited inside to celebrate. Anna was thrilled for the chance to meet new people. She had barely stepped outside when she met Prince Hans. The two instantly fell in love. At the coronation ball, Prince Hans asked Anna to marry him, and she said yes, and they went to me to ask for my blessing. I refused to bless the marriage. I couldn't let Anna marry a man she just met. Anna couldn't believe me. Why do you shut me out? What are you so afraid of? As I fought with my sister, I lost control of my magic. I shot out of my hands. Now all of Arendelle knew my secret. Panicked, I fled into the mountains. With my secret out, I let my powers loose. A storm raged around me as I created an ice palace and even changed the way I looked. Leaving Hans in charge, Anna went after me. As Anna trekked through the forest, she lost her horse. Luckily, she met an ice harvester named Kristoff and his reindeer Sven. The two agreed to help her find me. High in the mountains, Anna and Kristoff came across a dazzling winter wonderland where they met a living snowman. Hi, I'm Olaf. Anna realized that I must have created him. She asked Olaf to lead her to me so she could bring back summer. Olaf loved the idea of summer and happily led them to my palace. Inside, Anna told me about the terrible winter storm in Arendelle. It's okay, she said. You can just unfreeze it. But I couldn't. I didn't know how. I cried out, I can't, and an icy blast shot across the room, and it hit Anna in the heart. Kristoff rushed to help Anna and said, I think we should go. At the base of the mountain, Kristoff noticed that Anna's hair was turning white. He knew his friends, the trolls, could help. Grandpappy saw at once that Anna was hurt. There was ice in your heart, put there by your sister. If not removed, to solid ice will you freeze forever. Grandpappy explained that only an act of true love could thaw a frozen heart. Anna knew Hans was her true love. Maybe a kiss from him could save her. Anna, Kristoff, Sven, and Olaf raced back to Arendelle to find him. But Hans was not in Arendelle. He had set out to look for me and for Anna when her horse returned without her. Hans and the search party arrived at my palace. The men attacked me, and I defended myself. Suddenly, one of the men aimed a crossbow at me. Hans pushed it aside, and the arrow hit the chandelier instead. It crashed to the ground, knocking me out. Hans and his men took me back to Arendelle and threw me in the dungeon. Outside the kingdom, Anna, Kristoff, Olaf, and Sven hurried down the mountain. Anna was getting weaker by the minute. Kristoff was worried about her. At the castle gates, he passed her to the royal servants. He was starting to realize he cared deeply about her, but he knew that her true love Hans could make her well again. Anna told Hans in the library. She asked him to save her, but he refused. Hans had only been pretending to love Anna so that he could take over Arendelle. putting out the room's fire, he left Anna to freeze. In the dungeon, all I could think about was getting away from Arendelle to protect everyone. I became so upset that I froze the whole dungeon and escaped. Alone in the library, Anna realized how reckless she had been. In trying to find love, she had doomed herself and her sister. She didn't really doom me, but that's what she thought. Just when Anna had given up all hope, Olaf arrived. The snowman lit a fire, even though Anna worried that he might melt. "Some people are worth melting for," he said. Olaf looked out the window and saw Kristoff returning. The snowman realized that Kristoff was the true love who would save Anna. Olaf helped Anna outside, where she spotted Kristoff across the fjord. If she could only reach him in time, she would be saved. But then she saw something else. Hans was about to strike me with his sword. With her remaining strength, Anna threw herself in front of me. Hans' sword came down just as Anna's body froze to solid ice. I wrapped my arms around my sister. "Oh, Anna." Then something amazing happened. Anna began to unfreeze. "An act of true love will thaw a frozen heart," Olaf said, realizing what had happened. Love. I realized that that's it. Love was the key to my magic. I reversed the winter and brought back summer. Hans was astonished to see Anna alive. "Anna, but she froze your heart." "The only frozen heart around here is yours," Anna said, and sent him reeling with one punch. With summer restored, Arendelle returned to normal, but from then on, the castle gates were open for good. For the first time in forever, Arendelle was a happy place again, and my sister and I were the happiest of all, for we had found our way back to each other.